Hi, my name is Jamie, and I'm privileged to be the pastor here at Spirit of Life Church, and I want to welcome you to this daily devotional online. Today, we're kicking off a new series on the book of Ecclesiastes. Now, if you've never read the book of Ecclesiastes in your Bible, I highly recommend it. If you're not familiar with how the Bible works, there's different types of basically genres throughout the Bible. And Ecclesiastes falls under the category of wisdom. It's known as a wisdom book in the Bible. Now, one of the things you're going to find as you read this book and as we go on this journey together is that Solomon, who's the author, seems to be kind of a depressing guy. And I want you to hold off judgment on him as we study this and maybe as you read it on your own. I was listening to a podcast recently, and it was about entrepreneurship. And there was three characteristics that this particular person was talking about that entrepreneurs need to be successful. And one of those words is cynicism, or being a cynic. That sometimes conjures up negative thoughts in our minds. Ooh, a cynical person. But within the context of what this person on this podcast was sharing, what he was saying was a cynic simply sees the world as it is. And there's a very natural perspective that Solomon brings to this writing. And basically what Solomon is saying is, this is how I see the world. Now, one of the things that you have to understand, so I'm going to give you some good news right away, is that at the very end of the book, Solomon comes to this conclusion. Life seems meaningless unless you understand that your reason for being is to glorify God. And here's why that's important. I think that's important because there's a lot of people in our culture, in our world today, who think that life is a joke. They see life as meaningless. They actually ask, what's the point? Only bad things happen, especially if you think about in light of what we're currently experiencing at the filming of this devotional. It's easy to say, what's the point? Why get up and go to work? Why get up or why raise a family? There's a lot of people who say, why raise a family? I would never want to have kids in a world like this. Well, the reason is, and you're going to find this out as we journey through Solomon's book, the Ecclesiastes together, is that the meaning comes from the Creator. It does not come from the circumstances of the creation. And that's an important thing to remember. So I just want to read a couple of verses for you, and then we'll close. In Ecclesiastes chapter 1, Solomon says this, meaningless, says the teacher, utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Now, remember we were just talking about it's easy to think of people who say, what's the point of life? In verse 3, he says this, what does man gain from all of his labor at which he toils under the sun? Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and returns to the north, and round it goes, ever returning on its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. All things are wearisome, more than one can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear its fill of hearing. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which one can say, look, this is something new? It was here already, long ago. It was here before our time. There is no remembrance of men of old, and even those who are yet to come will not be remembered. And then at the end of chapter 1, he said, here's what I've learned. With much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. Remember, hold off your judgment. It's easy to think, wow, this guy's just kind of a negative guy. But I want you to really stop and think about something. I want to read you something that Oswald Chambers said. Oswald Chambers is the great writer of the devotional, My Utmost for His Highest. He says this, Solomon sums up the matter as follows. If you try to find enjoyment in the order of things, you will end in vexation and disaster. If you try to find enjoyment in knowledge, you only increase your capacity for sorrow and agony and distress. Now listen to this. The only way you can find relief and the right interpretation of things as they are is by basing your faith in God and by remembering that man's chief end is to glorify God and enjoy him forever. Jesus Christ is the one who can transmute everything we come across. So Solomon in Ecclesiastes invites his readers to see the world as he sees it. And my guess is many of us who look at the book Ecclesiastes will come to the same conclusion. He was right. Vanity is vanity. What's the point? However, you got to hold with him to the end when he encourages us and reminds us that man's chief end, our chief goal in life, is to glorify and to know God. Hope you can tune in each morning this week as we go through this series at 8 a.m. right here on Facebook or on YouTube. And if you like these types of videos, be sure to hit that like button. It helps us reach more people. Leave a comment below and share it with a friend. And if you haven't liked our Facebook page or subscribed on YouTube, please do that. We appreciate it. You can share your praise reports and prayer requests on our website. There's a link in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.